Welcome to Teachers in Real Estate, a podcast with your host, Jackie Durbin. I have built a six-figure income from using what I learned from being a teacher. Teachers make great agents, but guys, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Some people are cutthroat. Some clients will make you want to throw in the towel, but your years in education have built you for a career in real estate, and I am here to help. With the right mindset and the right tribe, you can experience the same success. You can either supplement your income as a part-time agent or go full-time in real estate. The tools I will share will help you gain the confidence and expertise to reach your goals. Whatever your goals, let's enjoy this time together. This podcast is geared for teachers who are looking to get a start in real estate and teachers who are already rocking those dual careers. If that's you, grab your notebook, your pencil, and buckle up. We are about to begin Teachers in Real Estate. Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope that you have enjoyed your day. If it's the start of your day, well, guess what? It's going to be a great day. And why? Because I said so. All right, guys. Today in this episode, I am going to discuss the balancing act of teaching and selling real estate. Now, balancing is kind of like BS. Like, it's not really a balancing. It's just a way to kind of prioritize things, right? So most people, I say most, not all, but most people, when they get their real estate license, they keep their real job, right? Okay, so the whole idea in your head is that you are going to do real estate part-time, or you're going to do it on the side, or you're going to do it in the summers, or whatever it is, right? The reason why you're doing that is maybe because you're like, look, I have bills to pay. Like, I got bills to pay. I got things to do. And I don't think that I can sustain the life that I have and achieve the financial goals that I have if I just jump straight into real estate, which I would encourage you not to do, right? I don't want you to just like leave the classroom and go straight into real estate because it's stressful, okay? Going from a salary job where I could count on, okay, this is how much money I make every single month, and these are the bills that I have, and I'm totally fine, to a job where I don't know what I'm going to make next month because next month hasn't happened yet. And what if I don't close anything? Like, it's stressful, right? So yes, I encourage people, don't leave teaching until you're ready financially for the roller coaster of being a commission employee, okay? Because I'm not lying. It's stressful, right? Now, I know personally for myself, I had this whole thought in my head of, I'm never going to leave teaching. One of the reasons was because I loved being a teacher, right? And the other reason was because when I was teaching in Kentucky, I was teaching for the public school system. So I had state insurance, right? I had a pension. I had so many years in, and then I was able to retire. And why would I leave when I have all of these things, right? So, but anyhow, in my head, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be that teacher who at my end of my years of teaching, I will have taught these students, their children, and maybe even their grandchildren, right? Like, I was going to be the teacher that had like, I always laugh about this, but I was going to be the teacher that had like the little Apple button and that was going to be me, right? Okay, well, guess what? That didn't stay, right? Even though I loved teaching, I loved decorating my classroom. I loved getting labels for the supplies, buying new notebooks, and the flare pens, and the Erin Condren lesson plan book in the mail that was personalized. Yes, I loved it. Okay, guys, but it never failed, right? There's always like that one child. Maybe her name happens to be Jacqueline, and you label everything Jacqueline only to find out on Meet the Teacher that she goes by Jackie, right? So now you have to relabel stuff. Anyhow, beside the point, all right? So knowing that so many of us, and I say us, meaning all of us, we go into real estate thinking it's going to be a part-time job, and then we're going to keep our full-time job of teaching going, it can get stressful. I'm not going to lie. It's overwhelming. And the reason why is because real estate is never part-time. Okay. It's always full-time. It's full-time hours. It's 5 days a week. Okay. Maybe 7 days a week. And there's no real time of hours. It's not like, I'm at school from, 9 to 4. That's how long I'm teaching. On Tuesdays, I have, I don't know, PTO, or I have, faculty meetings or whatever it is, right? With real estate, it could literally be 7 days a week, all hours of the day, right? So how can you balance teaching and selling real estate? Well, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some tips with you, and then I'm going to give you some practical application in those, right? So number one, first tip, write this down. Know the market. And this is the reason why you need to know the market. You need to understand, is this a seller's market or is this a buyer's market? If you are going into real estate as a part-time job, meaning you're going to have full-time hours, but you also have another job on the side, right? It's important for you to know, okay, who do I want to get right now? If it's a seller's market, I want to get as many listings as I can. And the reason why is because in a seller's market, you don't have to market as much. You don't have to possibly host as many open houses. The market's going to work in your favor, okay? We saw a lot of that during 2022, the end of 2021 through probably, I would say most of 2022. But what we saw were houses were going very quickly in a lot of different areas. And the reason why is because the interest rates were low, right? And what we were finding is that houses were selling quick, right? People didn't have to do a whole lot of work to prepare their home because inventory was also low, right? So knowing that helped people who are working part-time as a real estate agent, because what do I want to do? Now, during a seller's market, having buyers can be very stressful. And if you're also teaching alongside of that, that's even more stressful because you might be showing multiple houses to one client. Okay. Not because like they're trying to figure out what they like, but because every single time they go to look at a house, it's sold right under their feet, right? You may be writing multiple offers. Doing all of that's a lot of work. And if you're doing it alongside of teaching, that's going to be stressful. Now, what if it's a buyer's market? Well, if it's a buyer's market, then that means that probably inventory is high. Okay. There's lots of houses out there. And what your buyers are able to do is walk in, write an offer, and chances are it's going to get accepted. Okay. So fewer offers that you're writing. You may still be showing some houses, right? Because the inventory is high and they want to see everything before they make their decision. But knowing which market you're in will help you as an educator who is also selling real estate know who should you be going after. All right. Number 2, you ready? Find ways to get clients, okay? Know, how am I going to get these clients? Am I going to be doing open houses? Because guess what? Now you're teaching Monday through Friday and you're doing open houses on Saturday and Sunday. If you are a parent of younger children, or if you are a parent of kids who are involved in sports, that's going to be hard. Right? It's going to be hard for you to do open houses because you want to be able to spend time with your family because you've just spent 5 days this week away from them. And probably even when you get home, you might even still be away because you're writing lesson plans, you're creating assessments, you're grading assessments, you're doing report cards, you're doing all of these things, right? So know, where am I going to get my clients? Am I going to be a member of a team? Is my team leader going to hand me clients so that way I don't have to go out there and find clients? Do I already have friends? Do I already have family members who are like, hey, guess what? I'm going to buy a house. So you already have those clients in front of you. Are there people in your neighborhood that you know and they're like, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to sell. Oh, you're getting a real estate license? Yes, I'm going to use you. Maybe it's people in your church group. So one thing that you need to know is, where am I going to get these clients? And do I have the time? Now, depending on what season of life that you are in, right? You know how much time of your personal time outside of teaching that you're willing to give up. Okay. And the last thing I want to encourage anyone to do is to be working 7 days a week. You never have any time off, because self-care is something that you have to make sure that you're taking care of, right? Okay. Number 3, write this down. Set realistic goals. Okay. And by realistic, I mean, don't say, okay, I'm going to sell one house every single month. If you try to do that, that's wonderful. Okay. I'm not going to say don't do it. All right. What I'm going to encourage you to do is set realistic goals. And this is what you need to think of. Most agents, it takes them at least 6 months to close their first transaction. Okay. And the reason why is because, well, it's going to take you a while to get some clients, right? Then it's going to take a while for your clients to be ready to purchase. And then even when they're ready to purchase, they're going to write an offer. And once that offer is accepted, you're going to have anywhere between 30 and 45 days before it's even going to close. So you're not going to get paid for a while, right? So if you're saying, hey, I'm going to sell 12 houses and you don't even start until like month 6, that's a lot, right? And do you really need to do that? Now, depending on the market that you're in and what the price point are on these homes, you may only need to sell 2 houses, right? Maybe your goal each year is to be able to pay cash for a vacation, right? Your teacher salary pays all of your bills. You're living comfortably. You're totally fine. What you would like to be able to do maybe now in this season of your life is to travel more. And how am I going to find more money to be able to travel with, right? So you end up going into real estate. You sell a couple houses a year, and now you and your spouse or you and your girlfriend or you and whomever are able to go and travel, right? So set realistic goals. Number 4, don't give up. Guys, I am not going to sugarcoat real estate at all, okay? I don't care what show that you're binge watching on Netflix. I don't care what someone has told you. Real estate is a stressful job. It is not just opening up doors and writing a couple things and sending people signatures and then going on and getting a big check. That's not real estate. Okay. Real estate's stressful. You are helping people, sometimes people you know, sometimes complete strangers, make their largest financial purchase of their entire life. I mean, tell me something that you buy that costs more than a house. What, a plane? I don't even have clients that could buy that, right? Even a car. Yeah, a car's a big purchase. A home is more, and it's an investment. It's something that you're going to hopefully gain wealth and equity from, right? So don't give up. All right. Number 5. This is a big one, okay? And the people who are like me that are listening to this podcast, you're going to probably struggle with this one, and that's okay, because guess what? If I can do it, you can do it. And here's number 5. Accept help, okay? When someone says, hey, oh, do you need me to, send that over, or do you need me to do this, or hey, could I do this for you? When they ask that, say yes and say thank you. And the reason why is because guess what? If someone is willing to give you help, they're seeing something. Maybe they're seeing something in you, maybe your behavior or your mannerisms or whatever it is. And they're going, I know how she feels, or I know how he feels. And so when they're offering that help, accept it. Okay. It's okay. It's like when the assistant comes through and they're like, hey, would you like me to go ahead and make these copies for you? And then that one teacher's like, oh, no, I'll get it. No. Do not let them help you, right? Because what it's going to do is it's going to give you some of your time back. Number 6, okay? Have people on your team or in your organization show houses for you, okay? Because the last thing you want to do, because it's going to put stress on your family and yourself, you're just going to be so busy. Let's say that it's Monday, right? Okay, and you go to school. Okay, you're going to work. You get there at whatever time. When I was teaching, I think we had to be there by like 8:25. So you're there at 8:25. The last bell rings at 3:45. Okay, so that's nearly 8 hours that you are at work, right? And even though that bell rings, there's always that one car rider kid that doesn't get picked up until like 4:15. It's like the last minute before you would call CPS, right? And then you have to clean up the room. And you have to sharpen the pencils, and maybe you have to go make a couple copies, or maybe you have to look at your emails, or maybe you're going to be out the next day, so you're there, right? We never leave when the bell rings. Like, I don't know who those teachers are. Like, really? How did you just what happened? Like, are there magical mice that are in your classroom that are like doing? I don't understand it. And I taught elementary, so maybe it's an elementary teacher thing. Maybe high school teachers leave when the kids leave. I don't know. But anyhow, I never left when the kids did, right? So let's say that I'm there until say 4:30, right? And then I'm going to go and I'm going to show clients homes, right? Well, if I leave school at 4:30, it's going to take me at least 15, 20 minutes-ish, to get there. That's nearly 5 o'clock. We show the house. I finally get home. I don't get home until maybe 5:30. Well, if I have a family, now it's dinner time, right? But maybe I don't have time to, eat dinner right now. I'm going to have to eat at my computer because now I'm writing an offer because that house that I showed them, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to have it. So I have to write an offer, which takes me anywhere between maybe 30 minutes to an hour. Then I'm sending it off. Now it's 6:30. Maybe my family needed something. Maybe I had a child that, is having trouble at school and I needed to help them with. Do you see what I'm saying? Allow people to show houses for you. Accept help when people offer it. And the reason why is because it's going to be able to take some of that stress off you. Because I'm telling you right now, being a full-time teacher and a full-time real estate agent, there's no such thing as a part-time agent. I'm sorry, you're full-time. Okay. You may say that you're part-time, but you're not. You have 2 full-time jobs, right? So make sure that you're allowing people to help you out. Number 7, and this kind of coincides with this, okay? A TC. A TC is a transaction coordinator. It is a licensed or unlicensed individual who partners with the real estate agent through the transaction to help ensure that all the paperwork and everything is filled out, right? Get one, okay? Yes, you're going to pay them per transaction. Yes, they're able to negotiate what that pay is. Typically, it's anywhere between like $200 to like $400. Guys, it's worth it, because what they're going to do is they're going to take on all of that work for you. I will never forget when I was teaching 5th grade. Oh, it was magical. I loved teaching 5th grade. It was my favorite grade. Well, 4th and 5th. But anyhow, so my 5th graders, I had a couple kids that would come into my classroom at the end of the day from the other classroom. And guess what they did for me? They graded my papers. Yes, I had kids grading my papers. Now, it was only multiple choice. Okay. They knew what the rules were. They knew what the norms were. Guess what? You're not allowed to talk about other people's grades, right? You're not even paying attention to the name. All you're doing is grading the work. Do you know how much time that gave back to me at the end of the day? Because guess what? My youngest son, my only son, but my youngest has autism. And when I get home, I have to have energy for him, right? Because I need to help him with his whatever he needs, right? Whether it's schoolwork or whatever. And so when I was willing to allow those 5th graders, and trust me, they loved it. They loved grading papers. Do you all have those students in your class that are like, yes, I will totally sharpen. Can I sharpen your pencils? I mean, I can remember like in the mornings, before the bell rang, the kids sat out in the hallway. And I always had those few kids that like just, they didn't like sitting out there. One, they were going to get into trouble. Okay. They were going to get fussed at for having conversations, which why does the hallway have to be silent? Why? Especially when no one's teaching. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get it. Like, you know, if people are teaching, you know, there should not be a lot of commotion because that's going to be a distraction. I totally respect that. But in the morning, why are the students not allowed to talk? Why do they have to be silent? What's the purpose of that? Let the kids have conversations. Good God. Okay. So, but anyhow, beside the point, I digress. So I always had a couple of those students that were like, you know, Mr. Durbin, can I come in and sharpen the pencils for you? Yes, you may. Please come and sharpen these pencils for me. Because guess what that does? That gives me 15 minutes of my morning back to me. So I can do something else that I need to do. Hey, Mr. Durbin, I see that you have, you know, your lunch counter. You have this. Can I bring that down to the lunchroom for you? Yes, you can. Because guess what? That just gave me another 5 minutes. Hey, Mr. Durbin, I see that you have papers that need to be copied. Can I bring them down to the assistant so that way she can make those copies for you? Yes, you can. Why? Because again, I'm getting more time back to myself. That is something that is extremely important if you want to be able to balance having dual careers. Now, here's number 8. And then this is a good tip, right? And this is going to take a little bit of practice. This isn't going to be something you're going to know right out of the get-go. But you need to have systems set up. Okay. And these are the type of systems that I would set up. 1, I need to have a checklist going out to my buyers on what to expect as we are looking at homes, right? It could be a live document, right? Something that changes because the market can change. So I need to let them know this is what you can expect when we go to view homes. These are some tips that I would share on how many homes that you should view maybe at one time, right? This is how we're going to talk about the property after we've viewed them, right? This is what you're going to need in order to get pre-qualified with a lender. Here's a couple lenders. Once we're under contract, this is what you can expect, right? So if I have those systems set up, and I can even set them up as like Google Documents, then all I have to do is copy and paste it. And I'm not rewriting an email every single time I get a new client. I need to have systems set up for when I get a listing, right? This is what you can expect. This is what's going to happen. I need to have different things inside. If I have a CRM, then I need to have things set up in my CRM. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to make it be like an old machine, okay? And let's think about it this way, all right? First day of school, least favorite day of school, right? So what I would always do when I was in the classroom is the first, I would say probably 2 to 3 weeks, it depended on what grade level I was teaching. I was creating my systems in my classroom. I was creating what the expectations were, what the norms were in the room. I was reiterating what the rules and the expectations that I had for the students. And then the students were also creating norms and expectations for me. Okay. Now, some people, they're going to be like, what? The kids got to create rules for you? Yes, they did. Okay. We talked about, reasonable expectations. We talked about, showing respect. We talked about, being an advocate for yourself. So those are the exact same things that you have to do. Now, what happens when you don't set up those systems in your classroom? Exactly. Utter chaos. Okay. If you've ever, I remember we used to do, like we would go around and we would observe each other's classrooms, and I could always tell immediately which teachers spent the time creating those systems and those classroom expectations, and the ones that like bypassed it because they were like, oh no, we have to get into content. No, you do not have to get into content. What you need to do is you need to create those norms in your classroom so that way it runs smoothly. You're going to be able to teach more if your kids know how that they're supposed to interact with you and with their peers, right? So having systems set up in real estate is really going to help out. Number 9, don't be afraid to refer clients out. Okay. Now, as a real estate agent, yes, you make money when you help people buy and sell real estate. You also get paid when you refer clients out. Now, there are times in the school year that it is just not a good idea to be negotiating transactions, doing things like that. Okay. So during state testing, that's a stressful time. Okay. I can remember like those last few years that I taught, I was super stressed. And the reason why is because our school was a pretty good performing school on state test, which a lot of people would be like, oh, then, you don't have anything to worry about. Oh, yeah, I do. And you know the reason why I do? Because the expectation is there for my students to always perform, right? And so during state testing, I was stressed out. Preparing for state testing, I was stressed out. So that would not be a time that I would want to be working with clients because I know I wouldn't be able to give them my all. I would be exhausted, right? Like you've proctored for 4 hours of your school day? Like your brain is fried. What about the beginning of the year? Yep, nope, not going to be taking any clients. I'm going to be referring all of that out. And the reason why is because, again, I'm exhausted. Okay, the beginning of the school year, I remember like that first week, I always had laryngitis. Couldn't talk at all because I had talked for so long. I had no more voice left, right? And so that would be a time. If you are in secondary, so maybe high school, when finals are going on, when you're preparing for graduation, if you are in high school and maybe you teach seniors, there may be a time in the school year, I think maybe January is when applications go out to colleges. So maybe you're a teacher that's writing a lot of letters of recommendation for students. That might be a time that you need to refer it out. So pay close attention to your calendar. Know when those stressful times are for you for teaching. And then any clients that you get, just refer them out and get a paycheck and you don't have to do anything, right? Number 10, here's a tip. And some people will be okay with this and some people will not, okay? Stay connected with your parents. And not meaning your own biological parents, your students' parents, okay? Because guess what they do? They buy and sell houses, okay? So I know everyone's always like, I don't give my students' parents my phone numbers. No, everybody had my phone number. Like I'm convinced that probably my phone number is on like the back of like bathroom stalls in all of the elementary schools that I taught at. And I'm totally fine. Heck, my students even had my phone number, all right? I was connected with them on social media. And the reason why is because I knew what I was putting on my social media, and I was totally fine with my students seeing it and their parents seeing it. The more connected you are, basically as a teacher, this is why so many teachers, I think, do well in real estate, is because every single day we come in contact with so many people and they know who we are. And if you are the type of person that people gravitate towards, right? If you have like that magnet personality, those are people that would totally trust you to help them buy and sell real estate. I mean, for God's sakes, they give you their kids, right? For so many hours of the day, they trust that you're going to keep them safe, that you're going to give them a quality education, that you're going to take care of them, that you're going to protect them, right? So why wouldn't they want to help you? So make sure that you're staying connected with those parents. Guys, there are so many ways to sell real estate and teach at the exact same time. I hope that this podcast gave you a lot of information. I hope that you're writing tons of notes. I hope that this was valuable for you, because these are the types of things that I love doing. I love being able to share what I have done in my own business, so that way I can help build up other people who are either just getting started or maybe they're just now thinking about it. Guys, teaching and real estate are alike. Do you know why? They're both freaking hard, okay? But guys, you can do it, right? Teaching's not easy, and you do it every single day. So real estate being hard, do not get worried. Keep it up. Reach out to me if I can help. Remember to check in on your people and make sure that they know that you're always there. Also, do me a favor right now. I want you to rate and I want you to share this podcast so others can find it more easily. Also, connect with me on Instagram. I love talking to listeners. Maybe give me an idea on something that you want to hear. On Instagram, I'm at Jackie Durbin AZ. That's JACKIE DURBINAZ. Reach out with any questions. If you have questions about getting licensed, getting business, taking your business to the next level, maybe you want to start your own team. Guys, guess what? I did it. I can totally share all of those things. I'm excited to be with you. I'm excited that you found this podcast. This is Teachers in Real Estate, and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.